CC on the side of Barcelona. I feel like Los Ratones have a very good front to back later on, but Barcelona are looking to brawl early.
I completely agree, but I also think with the Lulu, I don't actually
Try
like...
and get priority in lane. Right here, Legolas did not have to burn that barrier, but there's no combat spell.
Oh, he caught him. Just he tried to E out. Crowny's in so much trouble. He'll have the flash, but he burns it eventually while matching from Legolas. The Q reaches tether. First blood over to Barca.
That's exactly what I meant by the early aggression. You pull him, you burn the ignite, you take his cookies and his pot, and back with a little bit more in her pocket.
Yep.
We talked about this trouble in our Barca series versus KC Blue, where the roams to mid were endless. Maybe a roam to top's going to be next. Vega's at least here. White Knight low on mana, but all it takes is a quick gank, and Barca's in trouble. The wave was cleared before, one crashing in, one minion denied for that. Meanwhile, Crowny steps up. Auto from Legolas almost gets a second kill, but Reckless saves the day, and Los Ratones are bleeding right now through multiple points of the map.
Zeri's running up topside, and it's quite early on, so it's not going to be quite a grub swap. Baus
running at them.
He's
Remember, he's got Halo Blades as well. He flashes in front, and he gets it! Reckless gets the kill in the end. White is set skyward. All it takes is Glitterlands and slow, and at least one comes through. Baus finally looking for the kill that he was denied. And he gets one too. That TP turns into a kill, turns into a weird top lane gank.
Members down the bot lane for Barca. However, White Knight on this Galio, one of his TP available, does have his ult.
3 Talon Strike connects, and Whiting gets charmed out. Easy kill. Even though he gets a charm in, it's another one down. Los Ratones is starting to pick up gold value in this game, and trouble, you just talked about that dragon. Now they're just going to move to the objective easy.
Yeah, so what happened was Los Ratones opted to match lanes again rather than maintaining the mismatched lanes, but now Baus is going to get ganked.
What else can you do?
JCC?
I mean, Baus is proxying when they're getting a dragon down bot. Meanwhile, we've got a picture-in-picture because 80 carries are fighting it out. Baus going to get a knock-up. If he gets away from this, it is going to be a disaster.
He's just
for Barca. They're going to use Checkerlad's ulti, so now this walk will turn into a mild run, shoved away, and White Knight will pick him up for fun. There's something at least in top.
And now you have to be very careful down bot lane. There's no level 6 onto Zaya yet, and Velia's over on the bottom of the map. What does Los Ratones get on the other side?
The majority is important for the feats.
You don't have the smite for Velia right there.
Oh, charm though. Checkerlad, it's a big fight, and Velia's going to open it up. Checkerlad fails a flash into the wall, but they turn for the fight. Legolas, meanwhile, sends the feathers out while he gets popped up against, and Nemesis is riding a wave too, but this one is hard to control. Onto Thega. He's isolated, dead too, and Los Ratones have just blasted Barca into the ground.
This can't be happening. Whoever plays versus Los Ratones gets mind controlled. The flash onto the wall, Legolas dies with flash barrier up, then Thager cues the wall on the Raptors, and then
you know what, throw everything out the window, there he goes, he dies. So I assumed he was going to wait to see Vi on the map, but little did I know.
Chase goes, you know, Checkerlad's going to come up regardless, and I mean, Thager has to be careful, because Baus, he doesn't have his ult, rather, so he doesn't have to be careful. He's going to play around a little bit, he's going to die, but again, this time around, it's not like there's a massive trade on the other side of the map. That might be a bad bet.
Into the Galio combo. Hook lands, and it's a kill as well. But they're going to move in. It's gone.
It's just gone. It's feasted. Baus got his fifth stack, and now they're looking for the fight. The charm again forces out the feathers to fly over the wall. Nemesis runs in, but with a wild growth, it's a bait. It's a ruse. He will die eventually. But the defensive play from White Knight keeps Los Ratones there. Crowny in full ulti. It's 1-for-1 so far, but Nemesis was looking a little bit more. Velia finding Legolas. That's what he wants up next, but Shielded Ran holds him in. Velia way too greedy. Crescent Guard popped out at no health as Crowny tries to save him. Reckless is the savior though, really. As White Knight whittled down, and Crowny, if only he had his ulti, would do something as Baus is looking for the mid lane, and ulti out from Checkerlad. 2K maintained to a degree as Baus is proxying. Checkerlad wants a kill, and he should be able to find it. Seismic shove, bit of poke damage. He does have a proto belt, but the rocket grab in makes it a little bit easy, and Baus is just going to try and kite it out. Maybe get a kill on the way, but unfortunately the Feast won't finish the job.
Not quite going to lose his Dark Seal stacks there as well. Proxying on the weak side of the map, 1 versus 3 potential is always impressive, but it's gonna you're going to see a kill go over to the Crank lane.
That time was too far, as we know.
That's the extent of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are going to start with Herald, and I'll give you an update after that. Remember, Los Ratones are in a lead as we start off a fight. Checkerlad has just flashed away. Nemesis is going to ulti away, and there's going to be follow-up with the Hero's entrance. They're all in this Ari, but they can't kill him yet. Nemesis does good damage on the way, and they've dove deep for this as Thega takes a double turret shot, and the convergence from Los Ratones now becomes dangerous with a feast from Baus, and Barca are just cornered and left isolated now. They've sent everything for Nemesis. They gave him the Baus treatment, and it bites right back. For LR, they've just picked up not 4, but all 5. of the Spanish squad. It's a full-blown ace and a massive lead for game one.
Do I have time to change my prediction earlier?
Are you feeling the 3-0 Russell Los Ratones yet?
Kinda, man.
Yeah, but that fight was so cool because they dumped everything. Barca dumped everything on
Barca, they haven't really used any of the strategies we talked about in the early game. There's no mid-support synergy. They don't set up for these objectives very well. 3 first dragons already gone minute 17 to Los Ratones. That's going to be a super early soul.
Yeah, diving very, very far forward. It's really, really hard for the Xayah to even take part. They're not playing off of the hooks, where I still feel like 1 hook equals 1 kill, except for how tanky Velya is now.
Shortest bump ever.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be followed by an even longer ride, though. But they're going to get the knock up on the way through. You see that Velya does it so that he can get some safety. Crescent Guard will follow that as Hook goes into a minion. Whiten, unfortunately, not able to converge. And with half the damage on the turret there as well, 4K gold lead. Crownie is left alone because Barca grouped up in a massive unit, so more damage done to mid.
Champions.
That's Reckless. He's going to stop this recall here. Make it annoying for Whiten. Maybe even get a kill because Nemesis is ultied. Orb of Deception out. Waiting for the charm. That will connect. And Bounce. It's a free stack, isn't it? He just autos for it because he didn't have Feast up and available. But it's going from bad to worse. And, you know, you got to feel for Barca a bit. They obviously had some tech issues. They came out of the pause into a big fight. And, you know, momentum's not really
holding the flash.
That's been behind
the dragon.
Okay, well, maybe now he has to actually use it.
Yeah.
Rare to see him lose a cannon, or at least want to, but as he runs for his life, he gets his Swifties into motion, or rather Moby Boots. He wants also to be safe from this blast cone, but Whiten brings him back in. Shielded around, and 4 members on top means Bounce will eventually die. While Atakan is getting started up, I mean, you saw the Vi. You know this is free, so again, good death.
Another good death right here. Picks up, what, 4, 5 members, the entire group of Barca over on the top side of the map, both sides of the map. Los Ratones just take the attack, and thank you very much. Now, it will be kind of worth it for Barca if they do manage to get that mid lane tier 1, and I suppose they will because Ari just showed up on the bottom of the map, and Bowser still did it for another 17 seconds. So that is a pretty good push right here from Barca.
Yeah, XP is going to matter a lot too. You've got ranked ultimate on the Lulu now.
Oh, you're getting away from Seismic Shove. He went in instead of going out. There's the Crownie ult, though. Shocking everyone within range onto Legolas. A defensive ult as Value's already pulled out the Crescent Guard. Barca are deep in enemy jungle. They're getting sandwiched. They're getting crunched with a teleport. It becomes a disaster. Waiting to fly. Bounce with the one-shot. Velya with the kill in the back. And White Knight with nowhere to run. Just when it looks good for Barca, Los Ratones snap them shut.
An extension into the enemy jungle, trying to find Velya here from Barca, but they just can't quite pick him up. Velya then flashes over, finishes off Checkerlad, and it's another 3-for-0 play. It's just a stomp, this game.
Yeah, I feel like from Barca, the commitment is just so half-hearted, right? There is no champion selection to go all in on one. I feel like there was once onto Nemesis, they overcommitted, and ever since it's been very, very scattered. And especially when you put yourself in a choke point, we can get flanked from many sides from Los Ratones when their champions have so much agency in playing that way. As Thager's gonna find Bounce.
But
I
think Bounce wins this. Ulti comes up in a second.
They're gonna pull TP.
But they're committing teleports to Bounce again. And Dragon's up in 15 seconds. You see jungle top. I've used the word disaster
this
before.
is a disaster.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
The comedic timing could not be better. And jungle just dies. Checkerlad sent skyward and Bounce is on the run, but he's got Reckless by his side. This is going to be a double. This is going to be trouble. And Checkerlad now regretting the decision. Bounce with a grin on his face, and Los Ratones know this one is in the bag.
Checkerlad was laughing as well on the bottom right. I feel like they know that, you know, they're cooking up for game number 2 already. You know, they tried their hand and it just didn't work. Got beaten off by Bounce twice now. This is going to be most likely a very clean Los Ratones game, which we don't usually say because our early game looks a little bit shaky, but not this time around.
Not able to one-shot the Cho'Gath, not even being able to get your ulti off on Vi there to one-shot Bounce, and now you've got a Mountain Soul.
Forward trying to get any remnants of vision for that Baron.
They're trying to death push, but they're on a ward.
Velya has his ulti as well. You don't want him. The hook is going to do absolutely nothing. As you said, Aragon, who are you going to hook and what is it going to mean? Wait instantly cleared. Los Ratones grouped up as 5 as well as Checkerlad's ulti is going to be late because 4 members are already there. Seismic Shove does nothing because they're tanks. They've just got no damage. The Xayah can never step up. She's the one you want to be hitting these front lines.
It's fine. Nemesis was right. Talia's trash.
Okay, well, apparently Nemesis, he's hooked in though, so Nemesis, he might be
wrong. Cursed him!
I mean, at the very least, it's 1 hook, it's 1 kill, it's something for Barca, but Crownie is unleashed. Look at him in the back as Legolas has to ult immediately. White Knight, the tank, the front line is no more, and Bounce is continuing to pad the stacks with 10 into his back pocket in the top left of your screen.
At this point, any fighter's good. Nemesis says that he goes in and gets caught by the Vi ultimate, but it doesn't matter.
That was on me, sorry.
Yeah, true. The catch just is real. I don't think there's any way to make it here in time, let alone get into the pit with the Q. You can get body blocked and knocked away. Bowser's shadowing Baron.
He's like a shark just circling around the red pit. Faker's going to try his luck. He's going to fight a dinosaur.
And there's no feast there, because otherwise he's dead.
4
5 seconds, yeah. I'm counting as well. Flash away. Legolas has no ult. He's going to match that, though. He's on a rampage. And all it takes is another bite. Sink your teeth in. And the meal tastes all right. Lost Ratones are playing with their food again.
Reckless just W'd him as well to give him the movement speed right there to be able to connect the feast. And Lost Ratones with 5-man buffs from Baron. They're going to push into the base for the end.
It's 25 minutes. 26 ticking over. LR, Groupers 4, and Nemesis is working down on bot, but they can go for the Nexus turrets. It's 20 seconds onto Legolas. It's our grand final, but yet again, I'm getting some deja vu. I'm getting LR's resurgence, beaten once by Barça on the lead up at 2-0. We remember, but this is not the way it was. This is not how it started. Game 1 only, but LR put up a clinical performance to open up their back-to-back return.
A dominating performance. Does not play. So he's going to play for scaling and try to survive the Shen lane.
He has played Jax, AP Jax, into the Shen prior, and he beat that matchup later on when Jax.
And then maybe a recall for the Doran's ring and so on the other items.
He's going bot.
Could be a gank. I mean, there's no reliable gank setup. You've just missed the W on Jhin.
But Legolas just walked up, trying to get the wave crashed in. Reckless gets an engage, and Whiting is isolated away from Legolas. They'll turn. The stun, though, doesn't connect from Velya, but the last shot will indeed. Deadly Flash flashed away from Thager is now here to help, but he's too late. First blood is over to Lost Return.
Damn, you take the nameplates off. I think that Thager, he's usually the one ganking very early. But right here,
really, really crap, as it is just the best champion in top right now, as junglers are fighting it out in the meanwhile. And while I'm yapping away, Thager gets away from the Severing Bolt, but Nemesis is still here. CC flashed away from, but Velya has his flash from last fight, but where's the CC? It's now coming up. He'll find it. There's the Severing Bolt isolated again. And with Conquer up, Velya just needs a bit more in the Q department, and he'll find that too. White Knight can't save the day, and Velya is off to the races.
Very confused. Chocolate wasn't a reset right there. It was TPing way after during Thanksgiving Kanavi.
This champion I feel like can build so many different items that it's almost
Kraken Slayer as well.
Yeah.
That's different, isn't it?
Level 6.
Ulti, Chocolate has found his mark. Onto Nemesis, Spiraling Despair as well. He stood there, he's taken it. Spiraling Despair gets a good trade, but Velya, once again, flash for flash. The Chocolate with lethal tempo gets the soldier out in the meantime, and the Stand United is coming down. Velya pays respect, while bot lane, there's a trade there again. The blood is starting to roll and fall down the sewers as White Knight is now mid.
Wukong's ganking bot side as well. Thager was looking, but doesn't find anything until Reckless, who has his W. Now
I feel like right here, Crowny and Reckless have been playing that 2v2 fantastically well. Every single time Legolas dashes into our trade, you see Reckless throwing his W in, they get the heal through, and with the help of the Guardian as well, I feel like the sustain is great. Yeah. And Jhin is a kind of champion that's kind of like Miss Fortune.
The Shen, it has a quite a long cooldown. I can't remember if it's 160 or 180 second cooldown. It's really long, so right now is the window to go.
Nemesis again, bot though. His jungler's here this time. Thager's here to cover. Nemesis is going to get whacked around for a little bit longer. With the Spiraling Spear hit onto a clone, he has no chance. Bit of damage on the way out to Chocolate, and that's 1-2 now in the pocket for the mid laner.
Big for Barça. That's exactly what we're looking forward. Hold up.
As we're doing a 2v2 with the quickness out, the tidal wave as well. Crowny's going to barrier first, but Legolas running out of mana. Deadly Forest as Crowny now opens up with the curtain call. He will not find them all because Thager is walking into range. All Crowny can do is delay the inevitable. Thager's going to get over the wall. He wants to dash and take the kill and at least set it up for Legolas with the relentless pursuit. No, doesn't find his way forward. It's a bonk on the making. And Thager is just going to auto him instead.
A gank bot works now, and in mid lane you also have to play with the shuffle onto the immobile control mage. A classic win con for the Azir. It's just winning plays across the map for Barça right now, with not much else to show for it for Lost Returners.
I feel like that was a little bit also disrespectful.
He's already down to 2 plates on top side. Nice sidestep, by the way, by Legolas there on that dive. Really good sidestep onto the W. And
that was an enemy base.
Yeah, he is. He's really making it hard right now. If Shen does ult away, he's going to lose his tower. There goes Reckless.
Bye, Reckless.
Okay.
Thager just took a freebie, and now Crowny is isolated. TP needs to cover him. Tidal wave out first, though, as Legolas, the one tanking up. Now Crowny has flashed and barried and gotten away, but he's got a curtain call that he's going to open up, and with Pouse in the way with a Sky Splitter, Whiting's in a lot of trouble. Bullet number 4 will fly and hit
no.
Thega as the Cyclone disengaged, but Barca has gone a bit deep. He ulted in and regrets it immediately. Teleport also going to be burned. Barca have more members on the way, and Velia cannot save that play.
Baus uses the tempo he gets from proxying to TP bot and try to make a play, but the Channel is there once he fully commits, and it's the numbers advantage. It's a 5v3.
Boy, Shadow Dash was close to connecting for LR. Thinking about how to approach this Dragon. They don't want to give away number 2, but the pinch is good. Chocolate is better. Reckless gets out, disengaged on the left while Velia isolated on the right. Spiraling Spare into Thega, and they're all so low, but a flash Shadow Dash brings the fight back into Barca's favor. Nemesis might be out for now, but Velia just got a reset. An Aqua present, another ulti. Chocolate up next, severing bolt. How in God's name was that so close? Barca getting away with their lives, but only 2 of them as Reckless and Nemesis are taking the last bit. Severing bolt again, a flower in the way to mark the death. We look at Crowley because Reckless is being an 80 carry again.
Velia comes in saving the play with the resets on the back end of that team fight. It looked so bad because Checkerlad's...
He gets caught by Reckless and then he leaves the both side of Barca exposed to Velia getting resets.
Yeah, I think Whiten as well stepped a little bit too close to the bush. He could have hugged wall on the left towards the side of the Dragon Pit, but gets too close to the wall, the invis, and Velia coming out of the bush catches him off guard.
Baus just died, I think, on live. Which is not shocking, knowing who he is, but
No.
honestly.
You're right, he did.
That's
Okay, Baus is dead.
50 seconds till Herald as well, and Shen's going to be able to queue the tower.
But he does have Moby Boots in 2 more stacks, so he will at least be there. LR getting vision control, that's going to help out as well. Thega, I'm going to face check, but it's onto the 80 carry instead. They've found themselves Legolas. He walked in because he was confident his jungler was by his side, but Thega takes the 4th shot. There's a little bit more in LR that they're looking for. Velia, he's got a stolen soul. He's looking for yet another. It's reset after reset. It's Velia's time again. And this jungler, this LR pickup is continuing to prove his worth.
And Barca, just like last game, they underestimate the power of the banana bush.
He walked in, he now has to ulti. Reckless is there for the engage. They wanted to walk towards Nemesis, and while he might get out, can you say the same about Wyden? Under turret, as LR, no, it's a breeze from dying. It's another easy kill. LR putting Spain to shame.
Nah, Barca are dizzy in game number 2 as well. Again, overcommitting to plays. Legolas has no business face checking that bush. I know
Whiten's, I believe, is going to fall. Thega's going to fall. Everyone gets chased down here. And it's just more and more resets.
And I feel like you saw Thega in the beginning. He was sort of...
Oh no.
Oh,
It's happening
Thega is dead again.
Now, what were you going to say about Thega?
In that replay, he was actually respecting the fact that they had no vision in that banana bush, but like Legolas just sprinted at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a disaster. They were winning so hard at the start of the game.
Disaster.
Yeah.
How?
Like, it felt like the Shen was just going to win them the game off of the bot side play, but off of one bad team fight now.
But isn't that the same as last game? The lanes were, you know, like Legolas found a lot in the lane. And yes, it was less so as Baus is just going to walk away from Chocolate at lethal tempo. But White Knight last game, they got a couple of kills on Baus. Like, they were in a decent state, Barca. And then it was a couple of mistakes through these lanes, either around neutrals or these big fights, that just set the game into a downward spiral. And yes, you know, like Barca are making mistakes, but LR are just so good individually at pulling them out. This skill
They want to go and contest for the next Dragon in 30 seconds.
With that Dragon as well, we make number 3 where Barca were able to get the last one, but it cost them so dearly. Came so close,
How
walking out of
respectful
line.
Brownies.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Culling's going to come out, though, and that respect going to be half and divided. A lot of damage that comes out, and as you said, Troubled Dragons in 15. Velia hovering over by the wing. He's strong enough maybe to do it himself, but Crowning will just have to be an ult bot here as teleport for the defensive play. Baus has joined. Stun up, Deadly Flourish. It's onto a clone.
Got to make sure to play around this Shen ulti. The Shen ulti is really, really crucial. If they try to play for a reset and Shen ult comes down to deny it, that could be problematic. Herald plays down to provide a distraction to move into the Dragon.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Barca to find their way in right here, since they have absolutely no way of face checking.
It's going to be gone because Velia's just soloing it. So Herald's going to get a charge. Turret almost gone. Velia does a lot of damage with Kraken Titanic.
He can't walk in.
And he could have done it by himself. Crownie's going to make it a little bit quicker. There goes the Dragon. There's the extra stats. Barca are looking for offshoots of the fight, but there are none.
Back in my day, that was a Master Yi. Now it's called a Viego.
Very true. Oh, Root. Oh, and engaged. Spiraling Despair. And I think Legolas is going to regret stepping up to the wave. Crownie on the mark today. As the last shot doesn't need to connect, it zones him off. Here's Velia once again in between it all. And yes, Baus is going to die. Teleport to cover from Nemesis, but Mid in a turret is now under fire.
They could dive him too. They have Wukong ult.
They do. Nemesis, will he regret it is the question. Cyclone flash away, but Nemesis has one of his own. Stand United under turret, but is there enough damage to fear?
Oh my God.
White Knight is going to be a trade. It's a big shutdown as Thega gets out, but mid in a turret goes down in the process.
Right at the end of that play, I don't think Shen, White Knight here, had the Titanic Hydra active. It was on cooldown still, so the burst wasn't there to finish off Wei, which provides Nemesis that trade back kill. Super nice clean play from Nemesis, although very scary on that dive.
And a Chocolate then tempo roam towards the top side of the map, taking that tower down. Get as much funnel, as much gold as you can onto this Azir, onto the carries. Because so far, I feel like it is on the top side of the map to try and everywhere where Barça can come from.
Scared every time Legolas steps up. He's been caught out a couple of times so far. Again, you talked about the range. It's so easy to pull it off. Thega now caught himself, and he's trying to edge into this bush as Baus has joined in as well. 5 versus 4 for now. A potential engage. Chocolate finds one on a Nemesis with Acro Prison. It's a good engage. It's a successful one. The Stand United brings down the Shen, and now the White Knight's here. Numbers advantage for the Otacon to start.
They could play this potentially with the resets from Velio, but Velio's getting chunked on the entrance. Look at Reckless on the flank, potentially.
Atacon will slow them down. Atacon will do damage. Crownie is trying to buy his time. Meanwhile, for Barça, the way back into the game is here. Reckless engage, doesn't connect, but he finds a quickness and a charm eventually. The curtain call, doing it in the back line as well as Baus jumps in against 4 people. Ultis eventually takes the chomp and heals out, gets a stun down, but Barça have done enough, it seems, with the Cyclone re-engaged. Crownie shuts me up and takes the rest of the meat. Finally, they all fall, and Los Ratones are looking as strong as they did last time with 4 for Crownie.
Crownie with his best champion of 2025. 4 versus 5. Guess what? 4 is his favorite number.
They managed to find the play. I don't know how Baus lived for that long on the volley bear at the back end there, but they managed to pull off the 4 versus 5 with the resets from Velia as
versus LR. We were talking about the same thing. They step up when it matters, and it's such an overused phrase, but it's happening again. Now Nemesis wants to curse it for a little bit. Thega's going to find him. Cyclone's good, spiraling despair in the interim, but it means nothing. That's a big pick, and Barça need big picks in this game to stay in this series, to stay where they are. But with the curtain call opening up again, every time I say something good, there's a response. Whiting was not covered. He's one shot, and Baus is running. He's coming from behind. Look at where Baus is. Look at where Baus is. They've got a ping on him.
They have Shen ult, though. They have Shen ult, and Shen has push. He could look for an ulti onto the pick that Lost Ratones make.
Flourish. They're still looking for the fight. I'm worried. Again, for Barça, how much can they find? They want the mid turret. They want the plane. All it takes is another pick, and then finally they can stem the bleeding. They can look for the dragon. They're heading exactly towards that now for Barça. Nice the long train running down this river. Whiting is healing up slowly.
Jhin is isolated towards the top side of the map. Can Barça find him out, isolate him, and take him? They're looking as they're bouncing back and forth. They see that Jhin is in the mid lane tower.
Lost Ratones, they just lost top lane tower. Shen can look for an engage now. Lost Ratones aren't on a timer anymore because there's no tier 3 tower threat, and Barça are the ones that have to back up.
Auto attack, and Crown caught out, Stand United, and Crownie's going to drop at the start. Whiting isolated by Baus, but it's a messy fight. Thega as well, spiraling despair, but Velvia is getting resets again. Chocolate, he's isolated because everyone else is dead, and it's only White Knight left standing. Every time we get this fight, LR are getting resets to their jungle superstar.
And they play the 4 versus 5 for long enough so that Nemesis can come in and help in the team fight afterwards. Baus finds the backline dive, but I think on the other end, Jhin got engaged on.
And what were we talking about early? Why does LR come back? Why are they the favorites? Because they're a multi-map. Stuff from his side. They need to slow down, but the most important part is that they've been put into the same position.
It's a pick.
Look at the range.
Flourish. It's the range, but Culling is going to force him away. But meanwhile, while Legolas wanted to save his support, he might be sacrificing his own life. Severing Bolt again. The last shot almost. White in Legolas, both together, the duo running away. Velia needs a simple reset, a simple kill. Reckless gets vision, and White in is kaput. He's down, stuck mid-air, but he's got a reset, and that's all that matters. LR running it through mid in their game 2 in their hands. They hold victory at a whim.
W into R, finds the kill from Velia on the flank, and now they can potentially look towards this Nash. Going to start up as the Azir, turn into the Viego and DPS it down. In the meantime, Baus is proxying between tier 3 and tier 4 tower. Sorry, tier 2 and tier 3 tower. And
Spare on a clone.
What a nice play.
Baron for LR. Soul point for LR. Everything so far LR's way. Barça seem to be recovering. Suddenly more carries spring up from the side of LR to shut them down. Thager thought it was his jungle. Big mistake.
Yeah, this is going to be staying
Oh, they have
at
to
the very
burn
least.
Chenault as well.
Yeah.
At this point in the game, I mean...
There goes the dive win con.
Yeah.
Right, with the Shen ulti and the Wukong engage. But at this point, are you really
Can't
playing
really
stall for their items either, can they? 1 minute till soul, mounted soul again for LR on this front line. And Thager's trying to take vision, trying to take control of bot side.
Oh, God, it's happening again, though.
There it
This
goes.
time, Nemesis won't hit a clone. He'll hit the real deal. White Knight forces a flash away. And Velia just thinks about how he can get back in. The Heartbreaker and Crownie hitting his shots. It's a done deal. We came in today thinking about how Barça whittled away KC Blue. But LR on the other side of the bracket must have been a different matter because this isn't close. This isn't even League of Legends anymore. This is a funeral. And there's only one team attending.
Big laughs on the faces of LR as well, as they know this was an easy game to begin with.
Yeah, they don't even need the soul. They just turn the fight on the face check.
Classic.
As Barça tried to get in there, but what a stomp. What an absolute roll. If Baus is confident, I just think you can't kill tanks as Kled. You don't really have that much damage in your kit to kill tanks like this.
Who kills tanks in this comp? The Corki.
I mean, you have
Play around that mid lane. Now, what I'm looking at is not necessarily Thager, but White in. He was literally Checolad's shadow in their semi-final series. So I'm looking to see when does that Nautilus get freed from lane to wall around mid lane.
I think Trade's going to remount, get all his HP back, but
good music.
he's going to really need this crash right here. The wave is being held by White Knight, so there's going to be a
We're
gank.
looking bot because, the 2v2 is going to start off first. Flash from Whiting going into Crownie. Barry comes out, but first blood over to Reckless as Legolas is looking for the trade. Instant flash in return. Meanwhile, Bounce goes down in topside, but Reckless is taking down Legolas. The Ghost has just worn off. Reckless needs a couple more autos and a Shattering Strike, but only just Legolas on his escape route. Flash from Reckless. Look at him go. Horsey's coming in. The Steel Horse with a crash
He's
down.
still going.
A flash Shattering Strike would do it, but Legolas is going to be safe.
That was just an attempt. A really nice turnaround from Velia right here to help Nemesis push out that wave.
Did that a lot in last game. I feel like you could even say game one is right at the Arcane. Instantly onto Checkerlad. Whitin's going to try and stop it. Checkerlad flashes. Now both mid laners without the summoner.
I mean, the theme of this game is going to be immobile control mage versus immobile artillery mage. Who can get ganked the least? I think... Wait,
it's Thager. It's the jungler who's getting ganked the most.
Baus is in no man's land a little bit.
Baus is the one in trouble though. There's the counter strike. A stun up. He dismounts at a good time, but a searing charge means he goes nowhere. He flashes over the wall. Here comes the Call the Forge God for a kill, and Baus is dead now, having nothing up and available.
However, he had pushed the wave, and there's a couple of creeps that are lost.
So being down isn't going to be the end of the world, but if there's a fight beforehand, that could be problematic. Vel, you're going to look for a gank down in bot side.
Doesn't care about the ward though, because all he needs is a pillar, an instant flash, a crash down. Whiting has nowhere to go. He's got no flash, and so with that pillar, it's a free kill salvaged over to Velia. He's everywhere. This series, Velia happens to be everywhere.
Re-ganking down bot side. Popping the flash. Sorry, the...
While Baus adds pressure on the top, we talk about the minion wave deny, we talk about his constant pushing in. It also enables them to consistently just pick up these dragons.
Also, no one really talks about the kind of...
cult completion, maybe 22 at best. That's going to be a little bit late. Grub started up. Is Thager going to play for 2 or 1 Grubs here? That's the question.
Fight. Thager doesn't have his flash available. 5 seconds on that as well. 1 Grub at the very least for now. Barca want to try and find 2 and see what they can do with a bit of time held at their hands. Legolas coming in. But the team that needs everything in this series starting now.
Ball?
It comes off an engage. Thager doesn't pull it in. Lost Ratones still trepidatiously tiptoeing in as Nemesis is pulled back in. A great engage, though. Reckless pulls them together, makes them kiss, and Barca trying to get that second grub will succeed, but how goes the fight? Thager chomp for a bit. His AD reduced. Reckless re-engage. The jump on from the Jax. He's carrying. Thager being the hero for Spain, but as Reckless gets yet another stun, and Nemesis sits there for fun. The damage and range is enough. Nemesis just missing. Reckless will have to finish the job and pick up 3 kills in the early game. Legolas will run, but not for much longer, as Lost Ratones in this same spot win another big team fight.
Checkerlad's Ori ultimate doesn't quite find enough there, and there's no follow-up, whereas on the other side, Lost Ratones...
As we get Thager down in yet another lane call. The Forge got on the Baus. Ulti gonna pop, run into Thager. Here comes Velia to save the day. Enter Mini Kled. And Baus wants to remount. There's a pillar out. Bellow's breath is doing damage, and Baus is playing on the edge of this one, but Velya might be able to do it himself. He's got his ulti out. That subjugation slowing down Thega and sapping away his energy. Is White Knight now with no mana to escape, and with a remount, Baus has everything up and available. It's going to turn into a dive. Searing charge, though. Makes it a 1-for-1. Shotgun out. Baus is dead right of the arcane. Helps out in the end. It's a massacre. It's a bloodthirsty fight, but Velya stays there to pick up the piece.
Super weak walking into this one, so FFing it here for Barça I think is the best move.
And one thing we didn't talk about is the Nemesis chunks that are starting to come through, because the Xerath does have a lead, and this is what he does, is that Nautilus tries to face check, and look at this. The big engage tool can't walk into River. Wyden gets chunked out again. Second Dragon down.
That's possible because you outscale anyway. We've seen it the same in C9 with, there was a Gwen matchup intersect with Whipper, and that's the idea. Oh, Legolas.
Right of the arcane, Legolas taking big damage. Reckless was there, flash forced out, and Ghost. Legolas now with nothing here. It's Crownie. He just took a blast cone into a Nautilus and a Jax. Pillar might try and save his life with a depth charge. Crownie flashes away, but it's matched. Thega now, he just has to survive as long as he can, but he can't, because Velya's whacking away with his club. This guy's pulling out some magic from caveman to wizard. Velya just being fed kills again. How is this guy always so damn strong as Legolas has now walked in after he lost his double sums? Nemesis or Reckless, it doesn't matter. The kill's going over as Chocolate gets Velya, and we devolve into chaos in an 18-kill game, while LR still somehow keep getting more gold off of every passing play. Just ignore Baus. They're just going to keep running after each other. He might dismount. Call the Forge God comes in. White Knight will have some backup. There's a triple Hexgate usage here. Baus is going to remount now, but he is dead. Thega gets the kill, but top turret for Baus.
And Lara like the...
Here, flash away as he's chomping. He's going to get run down by Chocolate here, but make no mistake, the hero of this place was Velya. This play, rather.
Well, the hero died to Chocolate.
Yeah, well, he does die.
Which is very important, right? Because you get a big shutdown on the Orianna. We talked about how they need more items onto Chocolate, and right now Barça, they have the full control of the river.
Here he comes from South America. And Baus is coming in. No, the south of America. Pause for that. Baus is going to go into mini and probably die at the start of this fight.
He's
As
out.
he runs out, he somehow survives. Crash down, CC, stun out, and Crownie gets the kill. How did no one from LR die there? More importantly, how did Baus survive? The Chocolate at half HP. It's a poke from Nemesis that continues to hurt out, and this guy is starting to one-shot. The range again ensues.
And very importantly, Baus TP's back in to put pressure over on the tops of the map now that Barça are on reset timers because they got chunked down so hard. So Midless getting chunked for free, Topless getting pushed for free from Baus TPing back, and Fager cannot even access his own jungle.
Yeah, mid tower might fall here, especially with the...
He's dead. He's stunned and
wait
dead.
a minute.
Nemesis is huge. Nemesis is unbelievable right now.
Actually, how do you miss a spell on Pillar, CC? I guess that's the idea here. The setup's really, really nice with Frontline. And Baus TPing back, like you said, Trouble, and the wave clip from Titanic is...
Oh, Dredge line. Velya chops and gets it anyway. Depth charge. They're getting annoyed. Barger getting annoyed because at 6k gold down, they wanted something. Now they do punish Velya. 1 and a bit items. An Orianna that isn't scaling or anywhere close. Barca trying to win this fight and stop the scaling.
Yeah, sending 3 down bot side for Lost Ratones means that they can move into River, get mid push, then move into River and take control first. 2 wards in the banana bush. Going to be really hard to take control of, as one is used to mark a flank down in bot side, I believe. But still, face checking this is the task for Lost Ratones. Can they do it? Reckless has his buffer on any CC.
Stun. It begins. Nemesis damage. Can Barca find anything more? Crownie's in trouble and he will be isolated and taken down. That's great. 1 kill for the Spanish rebels fighting this battle. LR, though, have sent Baus towards mid. It's only a 3rd dragon, but now the fight begins.
And Or and Orianna are super chunked down, so if Nemesis finds the mark right here, they could turn this around.
Velya with an angle. That's what matters here. You look in the picture in picture. Turret going down. The Dragon gets them low. Wide in for an engage. Onto Reckless. Crash down to disengage. Nemesis still buying that space as he needs, but his zone control massive. Chains Corruption not connecting. And a long form engage from White Knight that has no follow-up. Walking into Nemesis is a disaster. Is a horror. Is a mismatch. A shockwave good, but again, where are the kills? Thega gets subjugated by Velya, and subjugated he will be with the chains lashed off. It's now Legolas in a 1 versus 3, but Nemesis keeps firing and firing and firing and firing, and Legolas doesn't have a single chance against the right of this Arcane.
How do they keep doing it in every single game, finding the 4 versus 5, using the Zerath's range and
Never really played that front to back that we really talked about from Champ Select.
It feels like this moment is layering in the sand that these fights seem impossible. Barça are 8,500 gold in the ground. Close moments within this game and the last, but as you said, Trouble, no front to backs have happened.
Oh,
no moments of shockwave from Chocolate and he flashes. But with the right of the Arcane again, all it needs to hit is one more. An objective bounty, yes, for bot. But a kill through mid, opening up towards the inhib.
Is he soloing Atakan?
I think Velia might be soloing Atakan.
Oh, he's
Brownie's
chomping.
going to help. But Balsa's here to defend bot, so...
Yeah, Velia's health bar wasn't moving. He could definitely do the solo if he wanted to. But just going to accelerate a little bit with Crownie here. They're trying to cross-map. Can Baus clear the way? Probably not.
Chains of Corruption. Bit of range here. There's good damage. He does pay respect. He's trying to get out, but a depth charge has now burnt quite a lot. Objective bounty is nice, and Baus in a small mini Kled gets out. That engage would have hit. He would have found his mark, and 2 turrets here for Barça stimulates some gold growth.
On the other side, Atakan, the whole top quadrant of Thager's jungle, and a tower just about to take a huge hit from the side of Barça. So Barça are in pretty desperate scenarios right now. You need to make some picks. You need to grab some shutdowns. Tower's gonna go down. Atakan's gonna go down. The whole top side of the jungle is gonna go down. And Baus
they're not letting them breathe. Bear trap on a rope. Wide in, looking to be reeled back in. There's no Chains of Corruption. LR a little bit short of the engage for now, but they're chasing Barça back. Velia also on the way in, but you look at the timing here, it's with a wave crashing in for inner turret. Bit of gold, maybe an opportunity to fight again.
They haven't been able to spend the gold from taking the tier 2 tower, which was their cross map. If they fight at this point in time, they are no stronger than they were 5 minutes ago. So it's really important that they find this reset. The backs being delayed means that Lost Ratones are going to take a tier 2 of themselves.
Stun doesn't connect, but Nemesis, all he has to do is auto-attack and get mana back. His damage still immense with Magi's as well. Needlessly large in inventory. He's onto his 3rd item now.
The problem here is there's so much weight.
Baus is going to take this fight, you know he is, but Thager's also
There's 4
there.
members around.
I guess that's probably why he's not showing for now.
Empowered recall. He's
Oh, they're coming. Oh, they're coming.
Well,
look on your minimap.
I mean, because objective bounty's being picked up, and for Barça, credit to them, they're actually starting to break down some of these turrets, but Baus is going to cut off the escape route. Maybe the last charade, the last fight is in here for Barça, but onto Chocolate. The bear trap on a rope from Baus is putting down some damage. He's caught out, though, before the rest of LR are coming in. Reckless, too. With a windmill ulti in, he dies, but White Knight now finds Nemesis at full range. The rest of the team trying to get there, but Nemesis still not far enough close. As Barça are getting poked out a little bit. Thager gets a good ulti down onto Crownie, but the damage is not there. He flashes, and this is how far behind they are. Into Nemesis, that won't cut it. Bjorn gets away, back to his station. But White Knight, now that he's gone,
oh, he's looking.
No one to defend Legolas, and White in.
Has flash.
Over the wall, Velia takes a jump. White In's going to be next, and this grand final is once again being smothered by Lost Ratones back-to-back right now on the cards, and all it takes is one more team fight, one more base to crumble.
And that was a winning fight for Barça. They have gotten
for White Knight as well. Really trying to send it with the engage. They're running down Nemesis as best as he can, but he gets trundle ulted and he's just one shot, and he has to back away on such low HP. He can't find the engage.
Oh, you know, it was, the Turkish League almost able to take him down. Same again with Boostgate. But then, since then, it's been stomps, it's been domination, a Chains of Corruption, buffered ulti from Baus, but with an Ornn ulti coming out, remember, Baron's up in 11 seconds. If Baus dies here, there are still no big ultis for Barça, so 4 versus 5, but you're 8,500 gold in the dirt. You need to find something without those ultis. He was dancing.
Wait.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair enough. White Knight was dancing. What else can you do?
All right.
And then he finds a kill.
Legolas?
This is the part where Zerath can one
Okay.
shot.
Really good. Oh
my god. Oh my dear
god.
god.
The Storm Surge.
Storm Surge kills him.
So that pick on the Baus now means nothing.
He had flash.
I don't think he expects the Storm Surge artillery into the blind pick control mages.
But this guy can play everything. This is the problem. Nemesis, what a tournaments he's had towards the end of NLC. There were some question marks. I know he wasn't having the best performance, but he came into EMEA Masters and he's been taking names. Now Baus
chasing Baus again.
doing the same. Shockwave going to be bringing him back in. White in is here. And to contribute as Baus flashes over, there's a dredge line waiting. He'll go into small Kled, but Even though he dies again, even though he's now way past the 120 deaths. With the push through mid, LR are trying to take some more base defenses with all the members showing through bot. This is going to be the straw that breaks the already broken Camel's
It's
back.
5 versus 4, but very crucial ultimates are missing from the sort of Barça. Can they turn it around? They're tipping in.
They're going to use themselves a Hex Gate onto Velia. They've got an isolated target. That's nice. But with Teleport, Thega now joins in, or rather, is Chocolate. But look, Los Ratones on different members. Reckless missing that ulti. It's a bit chaotic. It's a bit crazy, but it works because Los Ratones, they're rats with crazy minds. Right of the Arcane again. And for Barça running back to their base, there's no place like home, but there is no longer home. Teleport to the last Nexus turret, but with the minions already in the base, this might just be it.
Crowny chunks, Velia chomps, and Los Ratones Lila!
They already did this 3-0 in IJC in winter. They're doing it again versus Barça in spring. It seems so simple, taking down Europe, one country at a time. We ask, who can stop them? Who can stop this infestation of rats? It's a new dynasty, new era. It's NLC's time to shine. And led by the Los Ratones, your back-to-back spring EMEA champions. They do it all again.
What more can you say? Absolute domination.